So you want to give an opening statement on the win?
Yeah, credit to LaSalle, credit to Fran Duffy. Obviously got a lot of respect for him as a head coach. 600 plus wins, 17 NCAA tournaments is crazy. I'm just trying to get to one. When I got the job, he was actually the one guy that sat next to me at A-10 meetings, and we had some good conversations, and I could just see why he's a damn good coach. Got a lot of respect for him. He's just a pure soul in basketball. And so we obviously struggled against his team tonight. But at the end of the day, I can find solace in the fact that we're 9-0 at home and we finished it out. If you would have asked me 6 months ago, I'd have told you, if we could go 7-2 and maybe still 2 or 3 on the road, 10 maybe can get you in there somewhere in the top 5, top 4 if you're lucky. And so regardless of how we played in that first half, I'm glad we got another win, and that's 23 wins, and we just got to, be able to regroup because we're going to play some pretty good teams here in the next couple of days, and got to get our stuff together.
Questions for Brayden?
Brayden, the getting your stuff together, what kind of switched there heading into the second half? Because it seemed like you guys were, those first 7 minutes or so, probably the best 7 minutes you had tonight.
Yeah, I think that we just needed to come out into the second half more connected. I think we all realized that because we came into the first 5 minutes a little sluggish. But the main goal was to come out with a dub, and I think the guys just wanted it a little bit more in the second half.
Seemed like you were able to find some holes there to work with. I mean, what was kind of working for you as you went through the second half in particular?
I mean, I keep saying it. I don't like to boost up my teammates so much, but I mean, when you have guys like Jalen Haynes, where he's getting doubled on post touches every time, and then people denying Darius Maddox, there's going to be lanes for me. So it just opened up this game.
Brayden, how big is it for a freshman like Stas to come in and give you guys the minutes he did when he was called upon tonight?
I feel like Staj is always ready. He's always ready to get out there whenever his name is called. I mean, as you see, every time he subs in, he makes a big play. I think it's a known thing around our team that Staj is a guy. So.
And just talk about what have you learned from the guys who are graduating tonight? You got guys like Woody, Darius, Katie, all those guys who are graduating tonight. What have you learned from them throughout the season as they move on to their next things?
I think it's I learned a lot from a bunch of the individual guys. I'm not going to go through every guy, but the main thing that I've learned from them is the grit. Every single day, willing to put in the work. You have Darius Maddox, Jared Billups, Jalen Haynes, Woody Newton, Zach Anderson, Katie Johnson. I mean, seeing them every day go hard in practice, go hard in the game. It's just something that you want to work on.
Yo, what's up, Brayden? Great game tonight, man. How important is it for you to keep this confidence going, coming off your best game of the season? How important is it for you to keep this confidence going into the final game and into 8-10-20 play?
Yeah, I feel like, as I said, it was. I had a good game because of my teammates, but I mean, I feel like it's important because we're going to the final stretch of the season, and in order for us to keep playing at our best selves, I think everybody has to be at their best self.
Brayden, what makes you guys so confident in these types of games? Just feels like game after game, it comes down to the end. I know Coach probably doesn't like it at this point of the year, but just how do you guys just feel so comfortable in those moments that are uncomfortable?
That's a good question. I would say it's just the connectiveness. I mean, the first half, it wasn't there as much, and then we have guys like the seniors coming and bringing us together in huddles, whether it's media timeouts, and just telling us to stick together regardless of what happens.
I just noticed on the stats, Brayden, that you and Jalen both finished perfect from the free throw line. How critical was that through the stretch of the game? Just noticing that.
I mean, in our last couple games, I feel like Jalen Haynes has hit almost all of his free throws, and myself included. I feel like it starts in practice. We have this drill. Shout out to Lou. We have something called Lou drill, and I mean, it's helping us at the free throw line. You can see it.
Thanks, Brayden. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brayden.
How's Jalen doing at this point?
Ms. Becker kind of gave me the look and winked at me and said he's okay, just a little cramp. I don't care. I think Jalen's a big baby sometimes. You can't tell. I don't care. You can't even tell if he got, he's okay.
Housekeeping part two. KD, how's he doing?
So KD took a fall in practice yesterday, a hamstring issue, and those things are tough to just be able to turn around in 24 hours. And so, he's day to day. I expect him to hopefully be ready to go Saturday. He tried to go a little bit today, but you know how he plays, as hard as he plays. Like, if a kid like that says he's not ready to go, then he's probably not ready to go.
And with Brayden, obviously, he's right when he talks about the double teaming on Jalen and the attention on Darius, but he has to make some of that stuff happen too. And how important has he been for you, especially on a night like tonight, to be able to give you that sort of play?
Yeah, I mean, Brayden is one of the most coachable kids that we have on his team. He's so hard on himself. That's probably the frustrating part as a coach, because I'm like, dude, if I'm not like mad at you, why are you mad at yourself? Every time you see him shaking his head or looking down, he's so pissed off at himself. That's the DNA that he has. And so, he's able to read things. And again, this is a guy that has not played this position his whole career. And that's why I try to have as much patience with him, because he's seen things out there that he's never had to figure out. And it took some time early on in that, first half where they were zoning us. We had to make some adjustments, but we watched a little film at halftime, and, he got the confidence that he needed from his teammates, from our staff, and he just found the gaps and was able to just get downhill. When he's got his antennas up like this and instead of like this, he's a hard guard. You can't stay in front of him. He can shoot, can make plays, he can finish at the rim, and obviously he's a tough kid. So, this is his best game of the season, probably the best of his career. And so without him, we're not in here with this win, but shout out to Brayden.
Coach, they only got off 4 3-pointers in the second half. What was the adjustment you made in the locker room there that forced LaSalle off the line more?
Yeah, I think we've just been really soft on the basketball. It's not a scout thing. It's just an effort thing. And you get so far down the line this season where you've been really, really successful because you're playing really, really, really hard. I don't know if our bodies are breaking down or what it is. I don't know if it's just the overconfidence that we're going to figure it out, because we seem to always figure it out. But I just thought we wanted it more, the 50-50 balls, some of the loose balls, and some of the different things that we kind of just allowed them. We made the choice to not make them miss in the first half. That was the difference. And then in the second half, we made the choice to contest a little bit more, to get after it a little bit more. We obviously started Jared Billups, and a lot of times that solves things. He does one thing, and then everybody wakes up. And so, we got to find our moxie. We can't wait till we're down, especially at home, to try to figure things out.
And then you gave 13 minutes to Stas instead of putting in Gio there. What was the decision behind that, and what did you see out of Stas that you liked that you kept playing?
I mean, the reality is, Stas, like Brayden said, he's always ready. Like, he's the one guy I never have to, coach up. He's a smart player, and, I played in Europe for 7 years, and, I think back to how hard guys just play. It used to be annoying, because it's like, dude, we're the Americans. We're supposed to be the guys that are playing hard. Like, you guys got to relax. But it's a European way. He's got the European mentality. Every play matters. Every practice matters. He's a professional. And when you have that type of mindset, it doesn't matter if you sit for 28 games. When you get your opportunity and your number called, you go out there and produce. I've had all the confidence in the world in Stas, but you try to give a little bit more to your seniors and your older guys. You try to give them the opportunity. And a night like this where Jalen was down and we had a couple bodies down and a couple minutes out there, Stas went and did exactly what I thought he would do, and I'm happy for him. He's a guy that we've got to be able to probably find some minutes for down the stretch here, just get him ready and going for next year.
And then finally, with the win tonight, that makes it 9-0 at home in A10 play. What does that speak to not only what the players been able to do at home, but also what the fans have been able to bring to you guys here behind the scenes?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's we made history, and I say it all the time. Patriot pressure has always been a combination of our fans, the engagement. This year there were games that were electric that there was no way anyone was going to come in here and take a win away from us. It's been a phenomenal season, and to be sitting here with 16 wins, when easily a lot of games could have slipped past us. Some of those 50-50 games, and some missed free throws. I got to give a shout out to everybody in EBA all season long, because they did their part. And obviously our players respond, and that's something we got to continue to build on.
Hey, Coach. 36 points in the paint. Obviously, Haynes drew a lot of that attention, but Brayden O'Connor really was physical tonight, getting a lot of his points in the paint. How important is it that you guys stay and keep this physicality going into the final game and going into a tournament?
Yeah, that's the slippage we've had. We've obviously had some slippage defensively. I think teams just know they got to play super hard against us just because of the way we defend. But the one thing that's actually been kind of just on the downhill for us is getting to the free throw line. We were one of the better teams in the country early on and touching paint and playing through the paint. And we've gotten away from that. And I thought the adjustment that we made, the conversation we had, it's like we give these guys, message after message. And, sometimes you have so many different things spinning in your head as a player. You forget the things that are non-negotiable. And touching paint for us is a non-negotiable. We got downhill, we touched paint, we figured things out, we finished, and then we got to the free throw line and we converted. And so it's a major part of who we are.
Coach, as much as you don't want to see you guys play so close all the time in games, is it kind of a benefit and help you prepare for what's to come with the A10 tournament and having to play back-to-back days?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a benefit. I do believe that if you're put in that position time and time again, you eventually can't just blame it on luck. You blame it on what it is, which is you guys are pretty good at figuring some things out. And, we've got some senior leadership that sometimes, they kind of rotate who steps up. We know Jared Billups is always going to be Jared Billups. I thought tonight Darius woke up even on both ends of the floor defensively. He got some deflections. But, again, this group is a funny group. We've had kind of a seesaw of a season. But the last time I checked, there's 13 other teams in this league that would be in our position or would love to be in our position. And you just got to take the good with the bad.
I know Brayden kind of talked about it, but is there something you can pinpoint as to why this team is just so comfortable in these moments?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not gonna sit here and just make up something to answer that question. I do think we've got the grit that we need. You throw Jared Billups out there, you throw KD Johnson out there, a guy that's played at a high level. Darius Maddox, Woody Newton, these guys have played, on the P4 level, and they've seen a lot, they've seen a lot of big games. And I do think our length, our activity, and some of the things we're able to do down the stretch and just wanting it more, I do think that that's something that we can't ignore. And these guys obviously, think they're just got to find a way, because I think this team has worked extremely too hard to not be playing its best basketball, and that's just something that I got to figure out as a head coach. And we've got to get our mojo back, we've got to get our moxie back, and have all the faith in the world that these guys can do it.
Hey, Coach, going into the final game against a bottom 3 team in Richmond, although it is the A10 and we know how tough the A10 is, how important is it that you guys get a statement win and get some good confidence going into the A10?
Yeah, it's very important. I'd like to finish 15-3 in conference play. I'm going to dream that, someone else in the league is going to take care of business, and all of a sudden we're in a good spot. It's wishful thinking. However, we can only control what we can control, and we've got one more conference game left. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter for anybody in this league, anybody in the country. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. The teams that won it the most are the teams that play best in March, and we've just got to figure that out. And obviously, like you said, it doesn't really matter. I said it before. You might as well just take the name in front of the jersey off down the stretch here. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You're going to get the best of everyone. Richmond has some seniors that I'm sure want to go out the right way, and we've got to be able to go down there confidently and take care of business like we've been doing all season long on the road. None of these games are guaranteed. We all know that. When Bill Self has to explain himself on Twitter, the guy that's won, 13 Big 12 regular season, whatever conference, out of 15 years, that's college basketball, man. You got to bring your A game, or you're going to take a nap, and we've got to figure that out.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.